Here's my center of operations, my desk. Go ahead and poke around. If you want to know the particulars of how I do what I do, take a look at the book titled How to Be a Detective. It's real helpful, especially if you're new to the mystery-solving business. And be sure to check out my scrapbook. I put memorabilia from all my past cases in there. A lot of them were pretty dangerous, and at times really scary. But don't say anything about that to my dad, okay? He worries about me enough as it is. And whatever you do, read what's in the file called Case File. That will tell you all about the mystery I'm about to try to solve. If you think you're ready to dive into that mystery, just click on the plane ticket and you'll be on your way. Current assignment. What assignment? Bess and I are flying to New Orleans for a long weekend of fabulous music, sightseeing, and food. Okay, so I'm also going to visit Ned's friend, Henry Bolet, but only as a favor to Ned. Apparently, Henry's uncle just died, and he had to go down there for a couple of weeks. Ned says Henry's a nice guy, but kind of a loner who might appreciate a little company. So, the first thing I'll do is leave Bess at our hotel in the French Quarter and take a cab out to the mansion where Henry's staying. Ned called him and said I'd be coming. But once that's done, it'll be laissez les bon temps brûlés. The only bad news is the weather's not supposed to be that great this weekend. But what's a little stormy weather when you're in the heart of the Big Easy, right? Right. Hello? Anybody here? Hi, the door was open.
Here, drink this.
What is it?
Something that'll make you feel better. Drink it. Just a couple sips.
No thank you.
Don't make her drink any of your weirdo concoctions. Then I really will have to take her to the emergency room.
You just go back to your phone call and leave us be. Don't pay him any mind.
Where am I?
You're at Henry Bolet's house, dear, in the library. He and I carried you in here after I found you unconscious in the foyer.
Why is it so dark in here?
The electricity went out. Lightning must have struck a transformer somewhere. What happened? Can you remember?
Well, the front door was open, so I walked in, and then I saw I saw a skeleton. And then he saw me. And then the light started flickering, and he threw something at me that exploded. Well, the smoke must have made me pass out.
You saw a skeleton?
I'm sure it was just someone, wearing a costume or something. I'm Nancy Drew, by the way. I came to see Henry.
So we surmised. I'm Renee Amand. I'm Bruno Bolet's housekeeper. That is, I was. This skeleton that attacked you, perhaps we should call the police.
No. No emergency room, no police. Things are complicated enough as it is.
Henry's feeling a mite overwhelmed. Well, you are looking much better, so I'm going to get back to my plant potting. You need anything? I'll be outside in the garden.
I should call them and keep them on hold for 5 hours and see how they like it.
So, Nancy, nice to meet you. Ned sent you here to check up on me, huh?
He's kind of worried about you, that's all.
Ned's a nice guy. I mean, I really don't know him that well, just from school. But when I mentioned that my only living relative just died, he was all like, "Yeah? How you feeling, man? You doing okay? Want to talk?" Of course, I guess I do come across as a little needy sometimes.
Were you very close to your uncle?
Great uncle Bruno, and no, I wasn't. My parents died in a car crash when I was 8. Since I had no other relatives, he took me in, or should I say he shipped me out. Boarding school, summer camp, military school, college. He may have looked after me, but he never spent any time with me. I didn't know him at all.
What are you doing, if you don't mind my asking?
Great Uncle Bruno named me executor of his estate, which means I have to make sure all his bills are paid and debts taken care of so his assets can be distributed. Unfortunately, he couldn't have cared less about little things like keeping records or balancing checkbooks. Dealing with his creditors and their lawyers has been an absolute nightmare. So, thanks for stopping by, Nancy. And now you can report back to Ned that I'm fine and go enjoy New Orleans.
No, I can't. Not until I know who that skeleton man was and what he was doing here and why he knocked me out like that. Look, I can understand you're not wanting to call the police, but somebody should investigate. And since playing detective is kind of a hobby with me...
No offense, but are you sure you didn't just pass out from the heat and humidity or something and dream that you saw the skeleton dude?
I'm positive.
Okay, look around all you want. But I should probably warn you, Uncle Bruno was into exotic pets. Didn't believe in cages, so he gave him the run of the place. And just because he's dead doesn't mean they are. So if you're gonna go poking around, be careful.
That's the front door, but I'm not leaving until I figure out what Mr. Skeleton Man was up to.
Yes?
Is your great-uncle's estate worth very much?
I have no idea, nor will I until I get all his affairs settled. He was a dentist for most of his life, so he must have had some money squirreled away. As you can tell, he was darn good at squirreling away junk.
He never got married?
No way. I can't imagine anyone putting up with him for a day, let alone for a lifetime.
Why is there an empty frame in the gallery in the other room?
Apparently, someone stole the canvas. Renee says it disappeared sometime after Bruno died.
What was it a painting of, do you know?
It was of my parents. I think it was painted in the garden out back. Renee doesn't like me. Wouldn't surprise me if she took it out of spite.
I found this scrap of paper in the fireplace. Do you know anything about it?
No. You always go digging around in people's fireplaces?
Just looking for something that might tell me who that skeleton man was.
Ah. Anything else?
Why is there a model of a cemetery in the other room?
Because Great Uncle Bruno used to oversee the cemetery next door. Made that scale model so he could keep track of where everything, or should I say everyone, was. Crafted all those miniature crypts himself. And people think I'm weird.
Do you know what this is? I found it in the other room.
Looks to me like some kind of tracing.
I was thinking that maybe my skeleton man left it behind.
Well, I sure don't know anything about it. Anything else?
I'm going to keep looking around.
Whatever.
Nancy, welcome to my little lantern-lit corner of the world.
Looks like you like to grow things.
I do indeed. Herbs mostly. And because I'm in constant need of them, I grow them in pots.
There's nothing quite like cooking with fresh herbs, that's for sure.
I don't use these herbs for cooking, darling. Did you and Henry have a nice chat?
We talked.
Henry's a very morose, very negative young man. Very cunning, too. In fact, I'm fairly certain that he's been selling off Dr. Bolet's belongings on the sly.
What kind of belongings?
Just little things, odds and ends really. But the lawyers made it very clear that no assets were to be liquidated until all of Dr. Bolet's affairs are settled. According to Dr. Bolet's will, Henry is to get 30% of the estate. Dr. Bolet's physician, Gilbert Buford, gets 30%. Our Lady of Route 57 School of Dentistry and Cosmetology gets 30%. And I am to receive 10%.
What was in that concoction you wanted me to drink after I got knocked out?
Never you mind. It was just a little remedy I brewed up on the spot to help you feel better.
If you don't like Henry that much, how come you're still here?
I'm here because Dr. Bolet paid me in advance, and I always fulfill my obligations.
Have you ever seen this before? I found it by that scale model of the cemetery that's inside the house.
It's a mystery to me. I suggest you ask Henry. He leaves things lying around all the time. I guess it figures I won't notice amid all the other clutter. But I do. I notice everything. How else may I be of service to you?
What can you tell me about the painting that's missing from the frame in the gallery?
Very little, I'm afraid. I didn't notice the picture was gone until after the reception following Dr. Bolet's funeral. I cannot even tell you what it was a picture of.
If you don't mind my asking, what's in that little pouch you wear around your neck?
Things. Secret things. Things that give me special talents when special times demand them. People usually laugh when I say this, but this pouch is my connection to the energy that powers the universe.
Oh,
Well, at least you didn't laugh.
I'll see you later.
One more thing. I, too, have seen the skeleton man. After Dr. Bolet passed, that night, I saw him in the hallway. He was there, then he was gone. So you best be careful, Nancy Drew, because if it was Mr. Death, and I truly think it was, he's come back.
To figure out if there's anything camouflaged in that design, I'm going to need some paper.